Hey, what's going on, guys? So it's been a hot minute since we've done one of these deck profiles, but I think I finally have a good Dark Magician one. I've been doing a decent amount of playtesting with this to find like the least amount of bricks with it, because this is not a phenomenal deck, but it does work. Before we get into the deck profile, though, I'm just going to throw it out there. I am running out of ideas already just because there isn't a whole lot of Speed Duels content. So if you want to leave some ideas in the comments below, I would for sure appreciate that, just to kind of understand what you guys would like to see. We did just pass the 10 subscriber mark, so thank you all for subscribing. This is really awesome, and we're off to a great start. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this deck profile. So, a couple different skills that you can run with this deck. You can run Destiny Draw, which would probably be the first pick. We'll talk about the Pegasus skill here in a second. But Destiny Draw, if you lose 2,000 or more life points, you can activate this skill during your next draw phase. And during your draw phase, you can search your deck for any card, reveal it to your opponent, and add it to your hand instead of drawing. So, this is great to get your final combo piece. If you have a decent starting hand, but you're missing that one last card, um, kind of acts as a last gamble esque type of card, where you can hopefully get those last couple pieces that you need. But we can use Destiny Draw, or we can use Millennium Eye. So Millennium Eye, at the start of the duel, you can look at your opponent's hand and just choose to have them shuffle it all back in and draw again. This is great, especially against Blue Eyes, or even against Relinquish too. If you see that they have all the combo pieces that they need, you can hopefully have them shuffle it all back in and draw again, and hopefully have a dead hand. So it makes them restart. There aren't a lot of good skills for this deck, so Millennium Eye is a good option. So, but to start things off with our monsters, we got our two Dark Magicians. We're not running 3 because 3 ends up being a brick, because we do have a lot of level 7 and level 6 monsters in this. Level 6 being Dark Magician Girl. So here's your Dark Magician package with the 2 Dark Magicians and 2 Dark Magician Girls. Most of the time you'll want to go into Dark Magician Girl first, and there's a bunch of different ways you can do that. By getting Dark Magician Girl out, you can get your regular Dark Magician out pretty easily. So, running 2 of each. We're going to run 3 Legion of the Fiend Jester. Legion of the Fiend Jester has a few different effects which really help the Dark Magician strategy. During your main phase, you can tribute 1 spellcaster monster in face-up attack position, in addition to your normal summon. So you can summon out Fiend Jester, and if you had Dark Magician Girl in your hand, you can immediately get rid of the Fiend Jester and tribute out Dark Magician Girl. Second effect, which would also trigger off of this, so there's a little bit of combo here with Fiend Jester. You can add a spellcaster normal monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So whenever a Legion of the Fiend Jester goes away, you can add that Dark Magician to your hand, which is very, very helpful. And there's a couple different ways you're going to be able to get Dark Magician to the hand because of this popping effect whenever it leaves the field. So we're going to run 3 of those. We're going to run 3 double Coston. This card can be treated as 2 tributes for the tribute 7 of a dark monster. So you can use double Coston to immediately tribute out for a Dark Magician, which is pretty useful. It does have 1700 attack, which means it can beat over many of the cards that are currently in this game right now. There aren't a whole lot of things that are above 1700 attack that you just normal summon out pretty quickly. So, double Coston. The only thing that's bad about double Coston is the fact that it is a zombie monster, so you could even run this in a zombie deck just because it's, I think, the highest attack zombie monster that's level 4 or lower. So you could even play double Coston in a zombie deck. Probably do an updated zombie profile soon. So, moving on to these spells and traps, we're going to run 2 Sage's Stone. This card, if you can control a face-up Dark Magician Girl, you can special summon a Dark Magician from your hand or deck. So again, getting this Dark Magician Girl out as quickly as possible helps out your Sage Stone play. You don't want to run too many Sage Stones because, again, it does rely on having Dark Magician Girl out. We're going to run 2 Dark Magic Attack. This is just complete board wipe of all spells and traps, which right now in today's metagame is... they're everywhere. But if you're going up against Amazoness, you can blow up all of the back row, including the field spell if they have that out too. So this works great against that. It works great against windstorms. It works great against a lot of different things. The only card that you'd have to worry about in the back row would be something like a Dust Tornado. But that's the only problematic spell trap card that you would happen to blow up. Alongside with that, 1,000 Knives. If you control a Dark Magician, you can target one monster your opponent controls and destroy that target. So, this ratio can be exchanged if you want to do 2,000 Knives and one Dark Magic attack, or you can do all three of each. It doesn't really matter. I found that this ratio works the best just because I didn't really need that much monster removal. The only time I needed monster removal was if it was a relinquish that I couldn't seem to get through, or if it was a Blue Eyes that didn't have Lord of D on the field. So, because you can't target when Lord of D's on the field. So, 1,000 Knives is nice, 2 Dark Magic attack, but whenever we get these new sets coming out, you might want to change up the ratio. So, we'll just have to wait and see, though. So, that's our destruction package. We're going to run 2 Wonder Wand for a little bit of an attack boost and for a little bit of draw power too. This is a great card to equip to Legion the Fiend Jester, because whenever you send this card to the graveyard to draw 2 cards, when it's equipped to Legion, you can still add a Dark Magician card. So you're basically getting 3 cards to draw from rather than just the 2. Also, gains 500 attack. If you were to equip this to a Dark Magician, gets up to 3,000 attack. You can go toe-to-toe with the Blue Eyes then at that point. Again, pretty useful if you're going up against Blue Eyes. So, running 2 Wonder Wand. Moving on to the traps, we're going to run 1 Magician's Circle. I know some people are running 2 because this card is really nuts. When a spellcaster monster declares an attack, each player can special summon 1 spellcaster monster with 2,000 or less attack from their deck in attack position. This card is great in most situations. There aren't a whole lot of spellcaster monsters out there right now, but if I remember correctly, like Blue Dragon Summoner is a spellcaster. If you're going up against Blue Eyes, they can get a free summoner out, which means they get another free Blue Eyes into your hand. You don't want to do that. For most matchups, though, this ends up working really well. It's great against Amazoness, where they just don't have a spellcaster monster in their deck to summon, so you just get a free summon out. So, not ideal in every matchup, but it does work for a lot of different games. And then, because we're playing Dark Magician, and he's a level 7 normal monster, we're going to run 2 Champions Vigilance. This is a card that's typically played in Blue Eyes, and it's a lot more common in Blue Eyes than it is with Dark Magician, but the same type of synergy is there that what Blue Eyes had. So, if you were to control a level 7 or higher normal monster, when a monster would be summoned or a spell trap is activated, you can negate the summon or activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Fantastic counter trap that works pretty well with this deck, but again, your goal with this deck is to get Dark Magician Girl and Dark Magician out on the field as fast as possible. Okay? A lot of cards that help you do that, and if you can't do it, you have some draw power to do that. And you do have a little bit of destruction capabilities and some back row removal. So, let me know what you think about this deck, or if you have any modifications that you would add to this. I know you could add like Blue Dragon Summoner in here as well to have some extra searchers. You could probably sub that out with double Coston if you wanted to. But this is what I came out with. This actually was working pretty well for me over on Dueling Book. So, if you have any questions, go and put those in the comments below. If you like this deck profile, by all means, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, because we're going to hopefully do more deck profiles, especially whenever the new set comes out the end of next month, I believe. So, you all have a wonderful day. Thank you again for the wonderful support, and I will see you next time.